This is Tim Sheehy. Welcome to Tim Said Podcast.
Hello, everyone. An impromptu episode of the Tim Said Podcast, prompted by, of course, the terrible events of the last 72 hours in Israel. You'll have all kinds of talking heads, foreign policy experts going through the long, complicated, and nuanced history of the State of Israel and all the implications therein, from the Six-Day War to the Yom Kippur War, Camp David Accords, Abraham Accords, what Hezbollah and Hamas are actually trying to do, who's behind it all. And what I will say is the following. My generation, we fought Iran on the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan, a proxy war with Iran, where they, as a state sponsor of terror, were murdering Americans, both civilians and troops. By extension, they were extending their state-sponsored terror network globally. They have a very sophisticated financial operation all over the world that many Americans, American agencies, and civilians spend thousands of hours a year tracking and attempting to seize and freeze so that those assets, billions of dollars worth of real estate, gold, business interests all over the world, can't be liquidated and brought back to Iran to support their state-sponsored terror network. What we've seen here is about a month ago, $6 billion of Iranian assets were released, unfrozen, and made available to them as part of a hostage exchange. It's not a coincidence that a few weeks later, they've already unleashed an offensive against Israel. Let's not forget, one of the stated objectives of the Ayatollah's regime in Iran is the destruction of the State of Israel. They get $6 billion. A few weeks later, they are launching the largest assault on Israel in about 50 years. This is the 50-year anniversary this week of the Yom Kippur War. I don't think it's an accident. I don't think it's a coincidence. An emboldened Iran means more dead Americans, more dead Israelis. They're a menace to the world stage, and we should not be enabling them further. And while all this is going on, what's America doing? Our executive branch released $6 billion in assets to the Iranians, which we already mentioned, I believe is a direct causal factor of this. And in our legislative branch, our Republicans can't even seem to agree on having a speaker or pass a budget or do their basic job. So now weeks of our legislative branch are going to be tied up as Chaos Caucus and our Republican friends argue over appointing a speaker, effectively paralyzing that branch of government when we have two catastrophic global conflicts going on in Russia and Ukraine, and now Iran's attacking Israel. Both conflicts have the potential to expand into global military confrontations. I don't impugn any of these lawmakers to say that they don't have the right to exert their policy and legislative influence, but they should be very clear-eyed about the impact that has on our ability to lead the world and to secure our country. It's getting less safe by the day. We need serious leaders who are ready to address these serious issues. TimForMT.com.